En el cas del projecte d'intercanvi lliure CAMPO, em veig immers en el projecte Behind the Scenes, un projecte on d'alguna forma el meu interès radica en trobar les similituds entre, anem a dir, el camp cinematogràfic i el camp teatral, a veure de quina forma poden dialogar, i per fer-ho estem treballant al voltant de la idea de Foley, és a dir, de creació de sons a escena, que per mi té una certa rellevància quan posant-la al teatre, perquè també d'alguna forma ens està qüestionant o ens està fent qüestionar l'ausència i com l'ausència treballa les nostres vides i com d'alguna manera marca les nostres personalitats. D'alguna forma el que he estat fent tant a la meva estada a CAMPO, a Gant, com aquí a Barcelona és poder explorar de quines formes podem proposar escènicament, anem a dir, aquesta creació de sons, d'alguna manera aquest acte d'omplir, i d'alguna manera per fer-ho he decidit apropiar-me de diferents eines dels camps cinematogràfics però també del mass media, tots aquests camps que d'alguna forma treballen a partir de l'efectisme, és a dir, de crear efectes per generar efectes, i jo diria que el que estem intentant investigar en Behind the Scenes és justament això, crear una escena que tota l'estona estigui generant efectes tant des de l'escena com des del pati de butaques, i veure de quina forma això es correspon amb la realitat que estem vivint i com d'aquesta forma podem qüestionar-nos si potser hem de canviar certes formes de com els nostres cossos, les nostres experiències, les nostres vivències es relacionen amb la via pública i amb el futur que volem crear com a societat. Per fer-ho, la primera part de residència que es va emmarcar dintre del context CAMPO, a Gant, va ser més aviat una residència d'exploració on va haver-hi una gran part de treball més aviat, anem a dir, bibliogràfic i de taula, però també una part d'experiència més escènica, és a dir, de treball in situ, i la segona part d'aquest programa de residències que s'ha marcat més aviat al context Barcelona ha estat un treball molt pràctic, del qual es podrà veure una petita mostra, un petit resultat a les jornades Pro Carlota, on treballarem, a part amb un equip artístic tècnic, que estan formats pel Marc Salicru, per la Laura Vinyals, per la Mariona Signes, per l'Aurora Bausà, pel Roberto Fratini, per la Gabriela Bianchi. També treballarem amb dos intèrprets professionals que ens acompanyaran en aquesta experiència Foley, que són la Núria Martínez Bernis i el Juan Navarro. En una primera etapa, el context lliure m'ha permès investigar al voltant d'aquest projecte i començar a generar certs materials. A partir d'ara ens trobarem immersos en la creació de Behind the Scenes, una peça escènica que es podrà veure a l'octubre del 2023.
I'm working on a project called While We Are Here, and it's an investigation on the meeting point between folkloric group dances that really emphasize on joy and the experience of the group, the relationship between that and hardcore rave dancing, which is something that I've been researching now for 10 years, specifically hardcore gabber and hardcore sound, which was very popular in Belgium, where I'm from. The project is about how I feel that raving is not something that developed in the 80s or 90s, but actually it's something that's been there since forever. People just gave it a different name. And also sometimes when I did my solo work, in which I dance techno, people in the audience would tell me that it looks like folk on speed. And so it kind of stuck with me, this thing, and yeah, for now I've been researching those two dance forms together. So basically with the group of dancers, we have been combining the two practices. In the morning we would dance folk dances, and then in the afternoon we would do a rave practice. And then gradually we see how the two connect together. Tomorrow I will show, it will kind of be a show and tell of the specific movement material of techno that I've been working on for a very long time. I will share that live with the public, and then I will also show video materials from rehearsals where we were doing more the folk dance practice, and a bit showing ideas of the aesthetic of the piece, of what I imagine it would look like. So yeah, it will just be me tomorrow, and video and sound. And then as far, the project with the dancers, we just started. Before I arrived to Barcelona, I only had 1 week, five days with the dancers. So we are just now starting to develop the practice of dancing the folk dances, finding out also which folkloric dances, because basically we find them by meeting people that do folk. So we don't use internet to research folk dances, but we find people who share with us their practice. So yeah, up until now we've been just starting to dive into all of those materials. For me to come to Barcelona was very, very interesting, because I find it's super interesting to see how the folk dance scene here is so alive. These Friday evenings on the Plaza del Rey or something, it's like, wow, it's so cool. And also because there is so many young people, queer people, old people all together. For me, this was something that I had not experienced in Belgium, so I feel like it's a very unique opportunity to find a feeling about folk that is very different from where I'm from.
Well, normally I work with non-professional performers. In this particular project, I'm not working with non-professional, I'm working with 2 performers, but working with non-professionals, or my interest in working with non-professionals, is that allows me to think the projects not only in themselves, but also in what they try to articulate around them, also the context that allows me to access, and all the possibilities in maybe artistic, but also we could say human possibilities that enable working with non-professionals. So I always try not to think in a particular project, or for instance, not only thinking in the artistic proposal, but also everything that I can reflect on while I'm somewhere. For instance, in CAMPO, being able to understand another way of working, because I would say that the structure of a CAMPO itself is very different from, for instance, Teatra Lliure or different structures with whom I collaborate. So being able to understand another way of working, knowing the persons, the people with whom I would be there for 1 month, at the same time being able to work in my artistic project 24/7 if I would like to, which is not something quite unusual, was for me a very positive experience. And at the same time, being able to meet people that think in long-term relationships, it's very important for me, and it happened in Ghent. So yes, I would say that all those things were positive for me. And at the end, but for me it's the important one, is that though we've been doing different creations or research that are different, we've met each other, which I think it's also interesting and very enjoyable for me.
I also really enjoyed to have the opportunity to come to see your showing at the end of the CAMPO residency, which kind of gave me an introduction to your practice.
And you'll see it tomorrow, which will be quite different. So yeah, voila.